Welcome to another exciting episode of the $1 Million Peddlers. I'm Papergoy.
And I'm Mr. Magazine.
Anybody new to the channel? On Saturdays, we try to bring you some BOLO videos, things that you can find out there. I know that at least up in Rochester area, Saturdays are big hunting days. You've got the estate sales, you've got, well, the garage sales until they're not around anymore, flea markets, all that kind of thing. So we try to provide you on a Saturday morning with a little bit of guidance on things that you might find out there, and hopefully you're able to find some good stuff. Yeah. Happy hunting, and take it away, Mr. Magazine.
Here we go. Well, it's still baseball season, and I'm sure there's a lot of minor league teams all over the country near your hometown maybe. So this is from our Rochester Red Wings. You can get these things. This was autographed by 19 players. You'll end up getting $20 for it. So I'm sure you can get stuff like this anywhere in the country by your minor league teams. Yeah,
so it was 19 cards, and it was a giveaway at the stadium, as I recall.
Yeah.
And obviously, if it were Columbus back in whatever year that was with Derek Jeter, then all of a sudden you're talking, instead of being a $20 item, you're talking being a big dollar item.
Hundreds, if not thousands. Yeah.
And that's where we did a video a long time ago about knowing your area and know who came from that area sports-wise.
Right.
Because, again, you might be able to find their high school yearbook. You might be able to find, they came through, the Red Wings, for example, had Kel Ripken back in 1980 or 81 or whatever it was, 80, I guess it was.
Yeah.
You can find his stuff from there and so on. So learn your local area, and you'll definitely know and make a lot of money off things like this, because they are out there regularly. Yeah. Because everybody went to the stadium with their family and all that stuff.
And they sign this for free, so someone pays $5 invested. So you pick it up for $5-10, you can still sell for $20-25.
Yeah.
I did email my employee who listed this. I said, next time, maybe start the title with Rochester Red Wings and that 19-player autograph. So not the end of the world. It's still sold, but I think it looks a little better the other way.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And we'll probably talk about this all the time, but vintage computer magazines, they're out there. There's tons of them out there. You just got to find them, and they do sell for $20 minimum usually.
Creative Computing. Yep. October 1981. One thing, and this is where we did a live show video, and do catch our live shows. It's 7:30 every Wednesday Eastern, and it's a lot of fun. And we did one where we were talking about the most important thing to have on eBay, and I said it was confidence. Mm-hmm. And this is an area where you need confidence. And do you know why?
Why?
Because generally speaking, we'll just take this Creative Computing magazine. You don't usually find one.
Right.
You usually find 20, 30, 40 of them, because it'll have been somebody that was in the computers at that point.
Right.
And you have to have confidence at that point, as you're shelling out $1 or $2 each, that what you're buying is going to be able to sell. You'll find it with computing magazines. You'll find it a lot of times with things like, you've got to do your own research as to whether the things will sell or not, but you'll find a lot of times with like crocheting and knitting magazines. You'll find it a lot of times you'll find the gourmet and the cooks magazines together.
Sure.
The person that had them saved them all. Maybe they were, a home chef kind of person, and they've got 300 gourmet and cooks magazines. At that point, you want to go to the estate sale, the person holding the sale, and say, I know you want $1 a piece on them.
Yeah.
I'm not buying 300 magazines at $1 a piece.
No.
What can you give me for all of them? And things like that do sell. Same thing with the Creative Computing. They've got 150 different computing magazines there.
Right.
You can get them cheaper than $150 unless the sale just opened.
Yeah.
Go to the person and say, I know you want $1 a piece, but what if I take them all? You'll be surprised. You're only paying $50 a piece, or $50 for all of them.
Yeah.
And you sell 2 of them, you're out of them. You got 148 left.
And these are just common issues. But you get anything with early Bill Gates or Steve Jobs, they could be $50, $100 magazines.
Yep. So do have some confidence. And don't be afraid to go up to the estate sale dealer or the flea market dealer and say to them, what if I take the entire pile? And you might be surprised, because they want them gone.
Right,
and they probably just did three estate sales recently where a lot of magazines didn't sell, and they ended up going in a dumpster. And they're thinking, if I get $50, it's better than nothing.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, for sure.
So hopefully that helps you some.
Yeah. All right, next up, we got some expensive Cheesecake Magazine. Dare, November 1952. Lily Christine, Jackie Gleason.
I'm hoping Jackie Gleason's not Cheesecake in there.
Well, I hope not. But, I'm sure. Yeah. Lily definitely is. I think it took $55 on this one, but definitely it's a digest.
Digest size.
They're out there, and it's a cool looking cover for who's into that type of stuff. But and it might have been story in the corner. Who knows that drew it for that price?
Yeah, it could have been anything in there whatsoever, but you will find these out there,
Yeah.
definitely. A lot of times these are not in the greatest of shape, because they're so small and people carry them around with them and all that kind of thing. But they still sell. They still sell even not in the best of shape.
Yeah, very good. And you can list them on eBay.
Yes, you can.
That's the beauty of it.
That is the beauty of it.
It's a plus. All right, Saturday Evening Post. This has been sitting around forever. My ex-employee never got around to listing it. My new employee listed it. Went for $177.50.
Saturday Evening Post, August 5th, 1916, Norman Rockwell, Grandpa at bat. That is an early Rockwell, very early, probably some of his earliest work on the Post, I would think. Because if you remember, if you do watch our BOLOs, do search back. We have one where Norman Rockwell did a Boy's Life cover from 1912 or 1914, something like that. So this is very, very early work of his. Just great. And it really does not look like his later work.
No.
Not at all. So do take a look at those. A lot of the early Saturday Evening Post are very, very good. They've either got Rockwell or they've got Lewindecker, both of whom sell. So just a tip, if you see them out there, be the first person there and pick the good issues if they're not willing to work on price with you. If they are, take all of them.
All right. Next up, I was sitting on this for a while. Helen Keller signed letter, 8.5 by 11. I think I took $275 on this one. Picked it up from a local customer maybe 6 months ago. Finally sold. You never know. You can find something like this out there.
No, that definitely, because you'll find things like that in estates because nobody's going to have thrown that away. Right. They will have gotten it from Helen Keller or whatever celebrity, and they will have put it in a special place and have saved it. Yeah. And all of the regular correspondence gets thrown away, but that gets saved. Well, if they've got a pile of paperwork, a lot of times the estate sale or the flea market or whoever's cleaning out the estate, they don't have time to go through everything.
Right.
So they just throw it all in a box. And that's one of those. And let me give you another insider tip. That's sitting in a box of paperwork. The wrong thing to do is to pick it out and say, how much for this Helen Keller signed letter? That is absolutely the wrong thing to do.
Yep.
The right thing to do is pick up some of the paperwork and go, how much for this box of stuff? I don't know, it looks like letters and stuff. And they'll probably say $10. If you bring the Helen Keller to them and say, how much for this? You're going to pay a lot more than $10 for one item versus $10 for the entire box. So that's a little bit of a BOLO tip. And you're not being dishonest in any manner.
Right.
They have it up for sale. It's up to them to know. You'll let them look through it. They don't want to look through it. They want it gone. But if you pull the best item out and bring it to their attention, they're going to raise the price, which you can't blame them for either.
Sure.
So buy the whole box.
Yeah. All right, next up, M2 Machine Square Body 1974 Chevy Custom Limited Edition. Now, this is at Walmart. My employee bought this. Must be $10, I think, on the shelf. But this is a Chase one where it is only 750 pieces made. And I think it went for 90.
So
I took it for 90. Yep.
Is it? It's a
little car.
Die-cast?
It's a die-cast, but the square bodies are real popular, the old trucks and so forth, the custom trucks. But, this Chase, they only made 750 pieces on it. Something with the black rims is a variation as well. So, one of these sold as high as 120, which, he was trying to charge me more for it when it was 120. I'm like, you never know. They don't all sell for 120. He only paid $10. So I mean, I made a little bit. He made really good money on it. But they're out there if you just see them. There's other versions that are $10 they cost, and they go for 20, 30, $50. So if you see these out there anywhere, they're very popular right now.
Wow. There you go. Maybe I have to go to Walmart later today. Who knows?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Another thing that you will find out there, I don't generally deal in cassettes. However, I was at a sale and bought them right. I think they had a big box of cassettes and they wanted $10 for the entire box. And these are not the hottest titles in the world.
I don't think so. I know I wouldn't want them, but that's just me.
Cassette tape lot of 8, Italia, Mood Music, Stephen Sondheim, Reader's Digest.
Wow.
Those are just kind of the leftovers that were in the lot.
Talk about confidence.
Made my money back off of those. And those, again, were just the leftovers. So I know a lot of people don't like doing lots, but sometimes you have to. And putting that lot up and selling it, and I think I got $15 out of it. Putting that lot up and selling it, it beats throwing it away, because I was already going through all of the cassettes and listing them all, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
Threw a couple of pictures up on it and ended up selling it. And, I did purchase it in 2020, so it's not like,
Right.
it took 8 years to sell or anything like that. It sold in a year, and again, they're not the hottest titles, and I still made some money out of it. Yeah, that was a nice reaction you had there on those. Like, oh.
Well, I get people want to sell or give them to me all the time. I'll just, give them your phone number.
Oh, thanks. This is a one-time occurrence. Will never happen again. You no need to give my phone number up. Next item we have over here is Success Magazine, July 1922. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle flappers, Orison Marden, went for $62. I bring this up for a couple of different reasons. The first reason I bring it up, I bought this, and I've talked in the past about the gentleman who sells me magazines from the West Coast. Once a month, he assembles a box of magazines, charges me, sends me a bill, basically, an invoice on PayPal. I pay it. He sends the stuff out. He does send me a list of what's in there. I never look at the list.
Right.
No reason to do so.
Exactly.
He's always treated me well. And it's a good little deal for him and a good little deal for me. He buys the magazines off of eBay. I probably paid all in, shipped from California with the other stuff, $2.50 for this magazine.
So he buys lots on eBay.
He paid less than $2.50 for this because he was able to make money selling it to me at $2.50.
Right.
I broke it apart and sold it for $62. And I do have free shipping, but this went overseas. Okay. So I didn't lose any money, or it didn't cost me any money to ship it, because I actually got paid for the shipping because it was overseas. Just goes to show the things that are out there on eBay, because he was able to make money as a middleman, and I was able to make money. And it was a win-win for everybody. And now, obviously, I'm going to be more willing to buy things from him in the future because I'm making money off it as well.
Yeah.
The other reason I brought this up was just to ask you a quick question. Do you know what a flapper is?
Well, a toilet bowl has a flapper.
It does. I thought you were going to say my mouth, blah, blah, blah.
Well,
but
that's a given.
But if you take a look in here, I tell you, it's in here.
Flapper.
Something or other I didn't know when I started out. That's the 1920s women, the liberated women of 1920 are called flappers. It is a bolo to use. Now, the person that bought this because of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. He's purchased from me before. He buys that kind of thing.
Right.
But other people will search on flapper and will buy it. So if you do see they're mentioning in there, definitely a keyword they do sell, just letting you know. Not in this instance, but it does sell. Next item we have up over here is Picture Play Magazine, November 1922. Leatrice Joy Rodolph, and that is how it's spelled in the book, Rodolph Valentino, and Harold Lloyd, who, of course, is famous in his own right. Brought this up for a couple of reasons. Number one, it illustrates how far apart your business and mine, although you did have that early Saturday Evening Post.
It was a fluke. Yes.
That was a fluke. Yeah, generally, this is the kind of stuff that I really enjoy selling.
Yeah.
And not that you don't like to sell it, but you look at it and you're like, yeah, whatever. As far as this goes, whereas I do the same thing with a lot of the 1970s and 80s magazines. Like, you have a lot of monster magazines. And not that I wouldn't sell them.
Right.
They don't do anything for me to sell.
Sure.
This I happen to enjoy selling. But the other reason I brought it up is I would not be mint condition.
No, yeah. And even if I had this, I probably would never list it.
Yeah, it's got tape up the spine. It's got this.
This has scarab pile written all over it.
But if you look here, I did note all of the damage. And, obviously there's the pictures and all that kind of stuff. And the person still bought it. I think they offered me $30 on it, and I took it.
Yeah.
Happy to see it gone, but happy to have it go to a good house. And so if you've got something that's off condition, and maybe that's the theme of this episode over here. You got these cassettes that aren't the hottest cassettes. They sell. You've got an off-condition magazine. It sells.
Yeah.
These things do sell. You just have to get it listed. That's one of the keys.
Exactly.
The next item we have over here is St. Jacob's Oil Calendar, 1882 Almanac, A. Vogler and Company, Quack Medicine, Kent, Wales, New York. I put that up. It's a small digest size, I would say. It went for $20. Other people had them listed and were getting like $10 to $12. I ended up getting $20 out of it. That's just a nice cover.
Yeah. And
I picked that up. You'll see it was actually in a haul video that we did. Part of a haul video that I did. I think I paid $5 for 5 almanacs from around that era. and got $20 out of one. So they're out there, easy to find actually. You can find these kind of almanacs. Do list where they're from though. Kenton or Wales, New York did sell this, I'm sure, because the other people obviously theirs weren't from Wales, New York. These were across the country. So do list the town that it came from. It will help sell it.
It's gonna matter at where too.
It doesn't matter at where. Does that not look like matter at where?
Where?
Oh. Yes, it doesn't matter at where. Yes. Yeah. Don't they grade video games?
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll have to fire that lister. Next item we have over here, the Dolomites, Northern Italy 1930s travel booklet Art Deco. Sold for $30 on an offer. Sold pretty quickly. Just great graphics on it.
Yeah.
And this is one of those things that years ago I would have listed, and I've sold things like this before, $15, $18. I said, this is better than that.
Yeah.
Just look at those graphics. I would have in the old days, because of the way it's folded, this right over here, this part here, you can see where the fold is. That was the cover. That probably would have been all that I would have put was that one cover.
Right.
Now I did the full fold out, did some pictures of the insides, et cetera, et cetera. And I said it's better than $15, which is what I've historically gotten on it. Listed at $35, took $30 on it, sold in a day.
Nice.
Again, that's where experience and saying it's worth more than $15. I don't care that I've sold it for $15 in the past. Yep. Definitely helped make that sale. And the last thing we have over here today, do you remember, you're a little younger than me. When I grew up, and I don't know if your people did this or not, you may have been too young. Was it cool to have a comb in the back pocket?
I thought you were going to say in your hair. Yeah, I guess it was cool. I mean, I didn't think it was cool, but other people doing it thought it was cool.
Yep. So you had that, and then you had the, remember the flip combs?
Yeah, yeah.
And they were the combs like this that you flip open to comb your, so you'd be like, hey, and you comb your hair like that.
You know, Fonzie could get away with it. That's about it.
Everybody tried it in my school. But old combs actually do sell.
Oh, wow.
Goody brush, number 6116, round tip nylon bristles, 1975, new old stock on card. Got $30 out of it, and it picked it up at an estate sale for $2. You will find these things out there. They do sell. Again, everybody knows me as Papergoy. Most of what I sell is paper. But every once in a while at a sale, something just jumps out at you and says, you have to buy this. It's a new old stock comb from the 70s for $2. I knew enough to buy it. And I think we've talked many times in the past that get your niche and know what you're good at and know it. But know the slam dunks in the other area.
Yeah.
And know that a 1975 brush from Goody, you've heard of that brand, I assume.
Yeah.
Is a great deal at $2. And it didn't take very long to sell. I think it took maybe a month to sell, something rather like that.
Yeah.
You can find things like this out there, obviously, because I did buy this at an estate sale. And just buy them. The other problem you have is, of course, what exactly am I going to say about it beyond Goody brush and the number?
That's it.
Round tip nylon bristles, and those are just things I use to fill it up, because I think that having a full listing, having the entire thing filled up looks better to somebody searching.
Sure.
I mean, maybe somebody's searching on nylon bristles, probably not, but it just looks better than just Goody brush.
Exactly, yeah, true.
So, and I did put the two pictures in because, again, what else am I possibly going to do? But wherever my mouse is, trust me, I put it in the back as well. That's the second picture you see there. Trust me on that. So hopefully this helps you some. These are all things that we found out there. I found all these things out there in the wild, and they are out there. Just when you go out to the sale, and that's probably, if you're doing it the way that I'm doing it, Mr. Magazine here gets a lot of things that people know him and they come into his shop to sell. Right. Or he gets contacts through email, et cetera, of people selling off their collections. I tend to go more out into the wild just because of my situation. So these are all things that I have up there that I found out in the wild, be they estate sales or be they flea markets. They're all out there. And I ended up making good money. I don't know what the total adds up to, a couple of $100, and I probably paid $15 for all of it together. Sure. So these are all things that are out there, things that you can find. Do comment down below on anything that you find, or if you do good with Goody brushes, maybe that's a whole niche that I'll have to get into next. Do hit the like button if you could, and we will see you next video.
Take care. Bye-bye.